somewhere that allows abortions. There are 49 other states to choose from. In Pennsylvania, they don't allow abortions, and a person can't stand living in a state that doesn't allow abortions. I'm sure Massachusetts will let them move here. That's what the 10th Amendment was all about. It is to allow people to live with the maximum amount of freedom possible. And I know this subject crosses the line I'm about to interject. As long as they don't infringe upon the rights of another person. The 10th Amendment would allow all sorts of things. Gambling in some states, not gambling in others. I know in North Carolina, there are counties that hold themselves dry. And that's a great thing. You know, if you want to drink, you don't live in a dry county. If you want to drink, if you want to drink, you don't live in a dry county. If you don't want to drink, you don't live in a wet county. And it's simple. People can vote with their little feet. They can move from place to place and find the place that suits them best. And at the same time, we're having 15 little experiments. Like Massachusetts, I'm willing to bet, if we reduce or we move the entitlement programs from federal to state level, Massachusetts is probably going to choose at first to be a regulatory type entitlement system state. And that's all well and good. But they shouldn't be able to make Pennsylvania pay for it. I mean, Pennsylvania has decided not to. We'll find out if Keynesian economics actually works, because there'll be an experiment here in Massachusetts, and if it doesn't work, we toss it aside for something that does. That's the way our Constitution was framed, and that's the way I would apply it to abortion. That's the way I would apply it to gay marriage. In my opinion, the federal government has no business whatsoever in marriage, whether it be homosexual or heterosexual marriage. The government ought to be out of the marriage business 100%. Why do I need permission to marry my wife? Why do I need a license to marry the woman that I love and want to spend the rest of my life with? That's insane. Marriage is a religious experience. Marriage is a personal experience, and the federal government, even the state and local governments, really have no authority by the Constitution to require me to register with them or make it conform to their idea of marriage. Yes. Sorry.
On that issue, does that make you like a pro-choice candidate?
No, I'm not pro-choice candidate. I'm abortion. Yeah, no, I'm not pro-choice. I will never vote for a bill. I'm pro-choice to the degree that I guess it's going to be a state position, but I will never vote for a bill that will further the practice. I will never vote for a bill that allows your money to be used for, in other words, taxpayer money to be used for elective abortion. So, no, I'm not a pro-choice candidate, but I'm also a realist, and I know that if we move it out of the purview of the federal government mandating every state allow abortion to states being able to make that decision on their own, we're going to decrease the number of abortions, simply because not as many states are going to allow them. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, right. Bill, my question is about foreign aid. Right now, it's almost $1 trillion a year that we spend on undeclared foreign aid, that we have no idea where that money's going. What are your feelings on that, since you're going to, the House of Representatives hold the purse strings?
I believe foreign aid would be better handled by charitable organizations, and the federal government doesn't have the money to spend, so therefore we should be spending our money in other countries.
Spending on the money issue, we have I think it's a $14 trillion national debt right now. to pay for the bill itself.
I'll take it. I think they already passed the pay bill, they're just ignoring it. We really do need to pay our bills as we go. Yes, absolutely. I would be for a balanced budget amendment also. I think that's a wonderful idea. I don't like messing with the Constitution too much, but I think that's one area where it would be a really good idea to amend the Constitution to require Congress to live within their means and make sure that they're not increasing their needs from us. We have to wrap it up now. We have another question.
Well, actually, it's just a kind of a final statement, and I want to repeat to everyone here what I said to you privately. This is probably the best chance that we are ever going to have to break the hold of a liberal Democrat in this district, as in the question I asked earlier today. If we do not remove Mr. Olver and put someone who's fiscally responsible in there now, the fault will be our own. So if you don't talk to people, if you don't bring up the subject, if you're not willing to go out and say it now, when the mood of the country is with us, if it fails, we're going to have to look in the mirror. So keep that in mind. That's all.
My position with my opponent couldn't be any more opposite. On one hand, you have a person that will fight for all of your liberties, not allowing you, making sure that you keep more of your money as the money that we do have to use, spend well, spend wisely, and within the confines of the Constitution. On the other hand, we have a person that could care less about the Constitution. And the irony is, the Democrat Party, they've been told to start carrying the Constitution from them, calling themselves defenders of the Constitution. It's a joke. The Constitution is something that's in their way, and they trample all over it. And without the Constitution to bind our government, that Constitution was not written to limit us. It was written to limit government. And that's why people in government don't like it. Because it limits their power and their authority. While they may have the most altruistic reason for wanting to do things, the Constitution gets in their way, and it's in their way for a reason. The founders of this country lived through tyranny. They lived through a large central government. They knew the dangers of that, and they wrote a document to protect us from that. And it's being trampled on, and we have the opportunity to bring our government closer to being within the confines of that Constitution. Thank you all for coming here tonight.